Okay, Shalom Chevra. We're coming to the end of another week. And we're going to have a little bit of fun today, right? As I said last week, we're going to be discussing the concept of speaking for a few weeks consecutively, and in regards to Derech Eretz, right? So with this week, I wanted to discuss the concept of tochacha, right? Tochacha, right? We understand as rebuking somebody, saying, "Oh my goodness, that person's doing something wrong, and how should I go about doing it?" Now, I've heard so many times people asking, "Well, why is it your place to tell that person that they are doing something wrong?" And so for that, we actually have a pasuk straight from Chumash, right? This is from Parshas Vayikra, right? Lo sishna es achicha bilvavcha hocheach tochiach es amitecha v'lo sisa elad chet, right? You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall surely rebuke your fellow. You shall not bear a sin on his account. So the reality behind it comes down that we are responsible for one another, right? This is part of what being part of a nation means, right? Being part of Am Yisrael, Klal Yisrael. But on the other side of it, we have so many times when the concept of, if you are going to give a word, it's going to fall on deaf ears. If you're going to anger the other person, if the other person may become resentful against you for it, right? So I'll tell you, I was reading a nice little article from H.com, and the concept was brought forth, right, that hochiach, or hocheach, the way it can be translated as well, is to proof, to bring something about where somebody else can learn from themselves, to have a proof. Okay, I see where you're coming from. I see what the value of this is, right? To put in a different concept of learning, something which was taught to me by my Shpil, I've been learning under for many years now. He's always taught me, no matter how right you are, if you're angry when you say it, you're wrong. So, and that could deal with chinuch with the children. That could be somebody driving on your side of the road, right? Oncoming traffic, driving you're yelling at the guy, you're angry, trying to tell him, no. If you tell somebody off, if you yell at somebody, if you are angry at them, you are wrong. Why? Because you're not supposed to be getting angry. Baal Shem Tov says that anger could be tantamount, and giving it to anger could be tantamount to avodah zarah. So we know that a tochacha is not supposed to be from an angry place. It's not a disciplinary action. The idea is to prove somebody, to teach them, and to be able to help them forward. We have a responsibility. I have a responsibility. If I see somebody doing something wrong, I have a responsibility to figure out how to get the message across, to use words, preferably. In my experience, anyways, words are king. But it can also just be by setting a proper example. Right? The idea is to use a loving way, a loving concept, to bring them into this awareness and to have that taking place. I'll give an example where I was pulling into a shopping center, into a parking lot. It was a couple of weeks ago, and somebody was partially blocking the road, and they were like pulled off to the side, and I kind of had to honk at them a couple of times, and eventually they got the hint. There was like a line of cars building up behind me. Anyway, so I managed to finally park, and they actually ended up parking next to me, and they started yelling at me, "Why were you honking?" And I told them, I said, "Look, I'm not looking for any issues. The way you guys were sitting in your car, though, you were blocking my side of the road, and in the end, I had like 3 inches, 4 inches on each side, and there was a long line of people waiting behind me as well. And I tried to speak to you by yelling